What is going on, good people? It is time for your Impact Wrestling review for 11/9/2017. This was the show after Bound for Glory. We did our Bound for Glory review. When was that? Was it Tuesday, Wednesday?
I think it was Monday.
It doesn't matter. Either way, we did a Bound for Glory review, so go check that out as well. And now we are talking about the show, kind of the Fallout type show, I guess you could say. And I don't know how you felt about this, but we kind of started out with Jeremy Borash and Josh Matthews in the ring, kind of talking about how they were in Canada. I kind of liked it. It made it feel like it was different. Made it feel like it. I don't know if this show was live or not. I can't. I don't know right offhand. I would doubt it, but I guess this made it feel like it was. It made it feel like it was. There was something different about it. And I know we have talked about the Canada news. I mean, obviously we're going to talk about it in a separate video. Hopefully over the next couple of days, but that's definitely something that's an interesting development as well. I think we talked about that before, them potentially doing that and it being a good idea. Not necessarily Canada per se, but we have talked about it before. Um, and I don't want to get too much into it because I know we're going to talk about it later. Um, but did you feel like this show, not necessarily this show, like the whole thing, but especially that first little part, made this show feel any different, or was it just kind of like, hey, Josh Matthews. Hey, Jeremy Borash. All right, bye.
It definitely anytime that they open with somebody in the ring, it feels different. Especially when it's not a wrestler. It's when it's like a you know an authority figure or commentary or whatever in the ring. It definitely makes it feel bigger. Um, and it made sense with the whole Impact now being officially in Canada, which I'm sure. I think you said we're going to talk about it more later, but that kind of brings up a whole bunch of like questions that I had, just like curiosities about that, because Impact is. I don't think we've ever had a company that was wrestling company that was based in the U.S. move to another country.
Yeah.
And most of the major, except for like New Japan, AAA, those most of the big wrestling companies are from the US. Now to have one, you know, intentionally go to another country, it's kind of weird a little bit, and it made me wonder, like, so if you're on like the official Impact roster, like how does that work now? Do you have to move to Canada? Like obviously, you know, there's guys that you know are on the Impact roster when it was in Florida, or yeah, when it was in Orlando, that didn't necessarily live in Florida. But it's not that hard to go from state to state. But when you're going like to another country for work, that's kind of, I always wondered how that would work. But it's definitely interesting to have a company, like I said, that was originally based in the U.S. now in Canada. I'm wondering how long that's gonna last.
Well, and from the tweet that I've seen, from the article that I pulled it from, it doesn't necessarily say that they'll always be in Canada. It just says that they will be producing more shows in Canada. Now I think we all know that Anthem is a Canadian-based company, right? And I know supposedly they're like gone, but
Well, everything that I've heard and everything that I've read is they're officially based in Canada now. So,
well, and that's and from the tweet that I've seen, it says they're based in Canada, and it says they will be producing more shows in Canada. But I don't know if that necessarily means that they're like completely like moving to Canada forever to never come back to the United States ever again in life.
well, yeah, obviously they're gonna come back. Well, and that's another thing. If they tour, because remember when they started touring back, years ago, and then when they started doing live shows, it's more of a cost to do that. That's why they eventually went back to just being in the Impact Zone or
Yeah.
just being because it's cheaper to just produce a show from one place, and then obviously have like house shows here and there. But I don't I don't know if they will really go that much around touring,
Yeah.
especially especially international. You don't necessarily think of Canada and the U.S. being international, but it still is.
Yeah.
So that's going to be some more cost there. So I don't know.
Yeah. It'll definitely be interesting, and especially when it comes to, I think, signing talent as well. Because like you said, it's from country to it's a different country, so I think that plays into it as well, like them signing talent and how interested talent is going to be in signing with them.
Yeah, and I mean it's kind of similar to another story kind of going on right now with Rockstar Spud leaving Impact and going to WWE, which is going to happen. It's been it's
Yeah. What exactly was the details on that?
it's been confirmed. He just has to get all of his paperwork with his visa to go through. So
Yeah.
again, that you obviously to for them to then go to Canada, you would have to have all your visas and everything kind of.
Yeah.
So
And I think, and that's the thing. I guess while we're still kind of on this topic as well. That was one of the issues with Taya Valkyrie. Was not the fact that she couldn't get to Canada. She was born in Canada. It was the fact of her getting back, is what I was hearing, and that's why she couldn't go to Canada for the shows. So that kind of makes, well, now that they're a Canada-based company, it may make it different. I don't know if that makes it easier for someone, for example, who may not be a U.S. citizen but be on a work visa to work for Impact.
yeah,
Um, I'm not too sure about how that goes. I'm not even sure how work visas go with wrestling in general. Anyway, like I wonder how that.
no.
But anyway, let's jump into the show. We'll definitely have a separate video on that as well, kind of talking about that news and kind of what that means and what it means for the future of Impact. I feel like we have one of those videos at least like once every 3 months. but but starting out, we had
Little Impact video.
true. We had Chris Adonis and your global champion Eli Drake come to the ring. Chris Adonis said some words and I ignored him because Chris Adonis is not Eli Drake. I'm just saying, like Eli Drake talks, I just have to listen. Chris Adonis talks and I'm like, give the mic to Eli Drake, thanks, please. Okay, bye. Like that. That's just how I am. But Chris Adonis wasn't too bad. I kind of like Chris Adonis in this one. Kind of, it was just kind of like an introduction type thing. Kind of, trolling the crowd a little bit as well. Which I think was nice. And then I love how, and I don't know if this is when Chris Adonis was talking or when Eli Drake was talking, but I definitely noticed it. Uh, One of them, was talking about the global championship or whatever, and the cameraman did this big zoom on the global championship, which is fine, but like all they zoomed in on was the GFW logo, which was like really ironic to me, because they're somewhat trying to cover up the GFW logo with the big old Impact Wrestling sticker. Uh, the big old like Impact Wrestling sticker or plate or whatever that is on the front of the title. So I just thought that was ironic that like it wasn't even focused on the Impact; it was focused on like a GFW, which I thought was funny. Um, and Eli Drake kind of talked about how he's beaten everyone in the company as he normally does. It's kind of his thing. The thing about Eli Drake that I love with him being global champion, he just feels like a champion to me. He just looks like a champion. The way he carries himself, the way he walks around with the title, like, and I feel like we say this maybe even far too often, but for whatever reason, he just feels like a throwback type of a guy to me. I don't know what it is about him, but he feels like a throwback type of a guy. And I freaking love Eli Drake. Like he's so confident and so charismatic about himself. I just think he just does a really good job. The way he carries the title, in everything. Like I mean, Eli Drake's just amazing to me. I really don't want his title run to end because I really freaking like Eli Drake. But Petey Williams will come out after, obviously saying that you haven't beaten me yet. Um, obviously, them being in Canada as well kind of played a role in this. The crowd was super hype. Um, he wanted to come in and fight Eli Drake right now, but Chris Adonis comes down there. Bruh, this was one of those things, and it may be like we talk about this all the time as well. Like it may be one of those things where we just overanalyze, things in wrestling because we're wrestling fans. But like Chris Adonis had to get out of the ring to stop Petey Williams from attacking Eli Drake. This man had to take his shirt off. Like really though. Like couldn't Petey Williams beat him up as he was taking his shirt off? Like wouldn't that have been the perfect opportunity to beat him up? Would be maybe that's just me. Maybe I just saw an opportunity that he didn't take, and I was kind of upset.
It wasn't even that he took his shirt off. Bruh, one kick and he was down. I'm like,
that's true. One kick, he was dead. Like one kick and he was just dead. Unlike Braxton Sutter a little bit later, I'm just gonna throw that out there now. We'll talk about that later and hope I remember it by the time it comes around. Cause that, bruh. Anyway, and I love the man, but still, bruh. But Petey Williams tries to go for the Canadian Destroyer on Eli Drake, but Chris Adonis pulls him out of the ring. Basically, this set up a match between them two. This was within the promo as well. Petey Williams wanted a shot at the Grand Championship, but Eli Drake has the night off, because he's the Grand Champion. And every once in a while, you got to give your top prize. You got to give the man a night off. So he took the night off. I actually thought when Casey told me that this was going to happen before it happened, I thought he won like a number one contenders match or something. I didn't think he just came out and was like, "Give me a title shot," and they was like, "Yeah." And I don't know if you caught this, but Eli Drake stepped on the Canadian flag when he went up the ramp. And I was like, no. He picked it up. Like, he didn't mean to do it, but I was like, no, not this way. No. But anyway, and then we see Johnny Impact arriving at the Impact Zone. Very, 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 very upset. But Casey, any thoughts on the first promo of the night? And I guess Johnny Impact coming up, he was storming up in there like James.
Yeah. First of all, let's just get the Johnny Impact thing out of the way. This took this man basically the entire show to find Alberto El Patron. Bruh, that building ain't that big for you to make that long to find one man. Like, come on now. But yeah, I like this.
And this man was in catering reading the book the whole time. Like, it shouldn't have been that difficult.
But I definitely, like this opening segment. But Chris Adonis, man, like I kind of feel bad for him just because like he's just a person that I just don't like. And it's not because he's not good in the ring, and it's not because he's not a good wrestler. I just don't like him. And I kind of feel bad because like it's not his fault. But like, bruh, why you got the mic right now? You know you can't talk. Like, you ain't got the mic skills. What you doing? I also thought it was funny that they showed the GFW logo on the belt, and it was at the part where Eli Drake was like, "That's my name on that title," and I'm like, "GFW is your name?" Like, but yeah, I definitely agree with you. I do like Eli Drake as champion. And actually, it made me think right now because I just watched the Ric Flair 30 for 30 on ESPN. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like an old school Ric Flair where, it's not the same gimmick, but he's so confident and cocky, and he tells you why he's the greatest. He tells you why he's the man. You know what I mean? So I definitely I like it. I like him like that. And then when Petey Williams came out, I popped, obviously. And I'm definitely excited for the match. I feel like I feel like it's a match that could go either way, especially with Petey Williams being, an Impact original. And obviously, they gave Gail Kim her championship run, before she retires. And Petey Williams, I think this is the only title he hasn't, like the world championship is the only title I don't think he's held. So I think it would be cool if they gave him a world title run, before he eventually retires. I'm not saying he is, because he's still, it looks like he still has a pretty good amount of time in the ring in him. But I think it would be cool to, give him his dues. You know what I mean? He gave, more than enough to the company originally. So I think it would be cool if they actually give him a title run. Hopefully, but then again, like I said, it could go either way. But definitely a good opening segment.
Speaking of good
Speaking
opening,
of good opening,
Matt,
Matt,
we had
we had
Sydal
Sydal
versus
versus
go away Echo, please, thank you. Um,
Echo. Sorry.
we had Matt Sydal messing up my segue. Dang it. We had Matt Sydal versus Sanjay Dutt. I don't know what this match was for because I missed like the first tiny little bit, and I think I also missed the Jimmy Jacobs something or another. Am I wrong? Thank you. You're gonna have to tell me though when I kick it to you if I missed the Jimmy Jacobs something or another because I feel like I did, but I didn't get. For some reason, my DVR stopped recording for like 5 seconds and then started back recording for whatever reason. I don't know. But anyway, this match was going on as I turned my DVR on or whatever. Like it was already going on when I started my second part of my recording. But this is definitely a good match. I love Sanjay Dutt. Obviously loves Matt Sydal. This was one of those matches too where I felt like it could go either way. They had a lot of good false finishes. I was definitely happy that Matt Sydal, ended up winning this match, even though like it really did feel like, either one of these guys could win this match, especially considering there wasn't really anything on the line at that particular point. So this is a good match though. Like I definitely liked it. I would love to see more, matches between X Division guys like this because I think this is, I think this was a great way to show the X Division off as kind of like, back when the X Division was really at its prime, back when, during the Asylum days and after that as well, when with guys like Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Pete Williams, Chris Sabin, guys like that, like it always felt like it was kind of a throwback to the the original cruiserweight division, and I'm saying more so with WCW, and even when ECW adopted it as well, they just didn't call it that. Like I really liked the X Division back then, and I think they're doing a good job of kind of bringing that back now. And I think half of it is just because they're showcasing it more. When you go out and you showcase some of these really good talents that you have, that makes it so much better. I'm really liking the X Division right now because I think it is like mixing a lot of the high flying with the wrestling, and I think a lot of times I wish they would do more one-on-one matches just because I think that is where you're really able to show what you can do. I feel like more so than if there's 4 people in a match or 3 people in a match or 8 people in a match or 20 people. Like if you have the entire X Division in a friggin' match, you don't always get to see what one guy can do and what another guy can do. So like you kind of get to see like, oh, we can do a dive. Well, that's great. Like everybody can do a dive pretty much at this point. So like I'm glad I like this match. Like I wish they would showcase the X Division like this more often. Matt Sydal does end up getting the win. After the match, EC3 comes out and At first, I thought he was going to issue a challenge for the Grand Championship. We all know that's where it's going to go. Like next week, Matt Sydal's just going to be challenging for the Grand Championship. We all know. We all know that's what's going to happen. We all know he's not that he earned it tonight. It's just going to randomly happen. I wish they would have mentioned the Grand Championship in this at some point, just to kind of, you know, ease that bridge a little bit, because I feel like that's what's going to happen, like next week. But um, basically, EC3 says that Matt Sydal is not clutch. He says that Matt Sydal does not know how to win in the biggest moments. He's great when in these regular matches, but when it comes down to a championship match, he's not as good. He lost. He beat Bobby Lashley, but then lost in the world title match. Um, you know, he had a shot at the X Division Championship not last night. I'm thinking it's Monday. An X Division Championship shot at Bound for Glory, and he lost that. So I like that, and I like the little line he put at the end. Maybe next time you won't be reborn a loser. I really like that. I thought that was a cool little line. But anyway, Casey, any thoughts on the X Division showcase? I guess tonight.
It was definitely a good match. I think why did what the my spotlight search came. Anyway, definitely a good match. I think anytime you put two, really good X Division stars together in a match, especially two that are veterans, um, they're obviously Sanjay Dutt is an NXT or Impact original, and then Matt Sydal is a veteran, in WWE, Ring of Honor, multiple other indie promotions, and now Impact. So when you put two guys that have such experience in a match together, you're bound to get a good match. You're bound for glory. see what see what
Oh.
Yeah. But definitely a good match. I think this was the match that Jimmy Jacobs came out. He came out to commentary and just he wanted to join commentary and enjoy the match. And they kept trying to try to figure out why are you here? What is your purpose? He still kept the not telling them, not giving them answers, kind of deflecting their questions. Which I like, keeping that kind of mystery as to, what is his purpose here. Um, Obviously, if you've read the rumors and stuff, he is, I think, working as a producer on the show. But what is his on-screen role going to be? Is he going to be in ring? Is he going to be a manager? What's going on? Um, and then I think it was Josh Matthews asked him. He's like, you called yourself a princess last week. What does that mean? And he goes, it means I get whatever I want. And right now, I want to watch this match. I was like, yes, yes. Um, then midway through the match, he gets up and leaves again. So I guess they're kind of building that kind of him not really telling the real reason why he's here. He's just going to come out and kind of have these segments, which I don't necessarily have a problem with. I kind of like it. The mystery behind it. And then EC3 coming out. I didn't like this just because it felt so random. Like you said, they didn't mention the title at all. It just felt out of the blue and just like randomly written into the show. And I was like, why? It didn't make sense to me. Um, I just didn't like it. I mean, if they are gonna go for a grand championship match, okay. But I felt like this is a terrible segue from the Bound for Glory match to this. Just I didn't like it. But definitely a good match though.
Alrighty, let's jump into the GWN flashback moment of the week, which I know Casey liked, with Team Canada, which was Bobby Roode, EY, and Petey Williams going up against Sanjay Dutt. I think it was Hector Garza, if I'm not mistaken, and Amazing Red. This is I like how that they didn't necessarily show all of this match, but at the same time they did show like a nice little bit of it. It wasn't like they kind of showed the end of it, which was cool, and then kind of when it heated up a lot. This I don't remember this match exactly, but it looked like it was a really good match. Like this is a good way I feel like of promoting the GWN app, because I think the GWN app has a lot of promise. I think Impact tried to do something like this before, but I don't think they had um, the right platform at the time. I think with the WWE Network and them kind of being able to master it a little bit, I think they kind of have a better idea of what they want. Um, but this is really cool. Like I said, a really good way of promoting the app, just to kind of see, you know, kind of what's on it, kind of what kind of is in the vault or in like the archives of the app. That freaking torpedo moonsault was freaking awesome. We got to see a Canadian destroyer in this match. That was really cool. But I just thought this was a really cool little, not only moment, but a really cool little flashback to promote the app. Um, before we get into Phantasma versus Eddie Edwards, Casey, did you have any thoughts on the GWN flashback moment of the week? I'm sure you do because you said you really liked it. So.
Yeah, this is, I think, my favorite one so far. Because it was.
Well, this is the first time they've done this one though, because I might be wrong. I haven't. No, I didn't get a chance to watch last week. Because I know they've been doing the Pluto TV ones.
Yeah,
They did one. They did another one tonight. So was this the first one of these that they did, or did they do one last week too?
I thought this was the only one that they did this week. Just the GW.
No, they did a Pluto TV one too.
They did?
Yeah, it was a little bit later. Yeah, I remember seeing it.
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't
remember what
know
it
that
was,
one.
but I remember seeing it. Oh, it was Roddy Piper. Had Roddy Piper in it.
Oh yeah, I kind of fast forwarded through that. Um, but I like this because it's kind of goes back to the impact that we always talk about. The good old days of Impact. And it was kind of right after they started using the six-sided ring because they were talking about it throughout the match. There's more room. It's better for the athletic guys because there's more room to move around. Kind of, talking up the new ring. So you definitely got that, the whole how new and innovative that was for Impact. Um, Even though Mexico had been using six-sided rings for years before that. Um, but I definitely liked it. I always liked the Team Canada, versus Team International versus Team Mexico, whatever. I like when they used to have those different country factions and kind of the tournaments they used to have. Um, so I definitely like that. I'm definitely gonna have to check out the app and see some more stuff like that.
Alrighty. Moving on to the GHC Heavyweight Championship match between Eddie Edwards, the champion, going up against El Hijo de Fantasma. This was a really good match. I really liked it. I feel like this card was kind of stacked, in my opinion. I felt like. I felt like there were some really good matches on this card. I mean, especially on the early going, between this one and the X Division Championship. I mean, not X Division Championship match, but the X Division match that probably could have been a championship match. It was just especially early on, the show felt like it was going really well. Um, I love Phantasma so much. Like his little freaking dive that he does is ridiculous. I don't know how he gets so fast on the thing, but it's ridiculous. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Austin Aries and I think his was just looked so fast because he was going through the middle and the bottom rope. I think was what made his look so fast. But still work so well together. I feel like they really work well together. I don't know if they've worked very much together, but they work really well together. This was another one of those matches where it felt like it could go either way. I think you didn't expect it to change hands on Impact, but at the same time, like with the false finishes in this match and the near falls and the almost 3 counts in this match, it always felt like it could go either way. I love kind of the way this match was promoted, the way the commentary played up the fact that how prestigious this title was and how much of a history making moment it was for this title to even be defended on Impact. On top of that, I love that they did official introductions as well for a title that's not even theirs. I thought that was a really nice touch to show really how prestigious they really think this title is. Because you can say a title is prestigious, but then if you don't add like all the hoopla, sometimes like it doesn't always feel like it is. So I thought that was really cool. That added a lot to the prestige of the title, just from people who may not even know about this particular title. I love that Boston Knee Party reversal as well by Phantasma when he hit him with the drop kick. I thought that was nice. I love Eddie Edwards in this match with the something Flosion. I can't remember what the name of the move is. It's something Flosion though, and he's paying homage to one of the greats from Pro Wrestling Noah. But I like that move. I like him kind of paying homage while he's why he has this title. I think that's a pretty cool thing, and I like that they shook hands after this match as well. I like that there wasn't any like dirty tactics because they could have easily turned this into a storyline against each other, but like I kind of liked it that it wasn't. Like I liked that it just felt like they came out there, they wrestled, and they wrestled for this prestigious title, and that was it. Like there was no like hard feelings, there was no like the AAA versus Impact thing was like no more at this particular time. Like I just really liked that. I thought that made this match really good, and I was really feeling like they didn't really need to do like a turn, or they didn't really need to do like any type of dirty tactics on this one. I didn't feel like. Then we had our little kind of message from OVE with Sami Callihan with the thumbs up, thumbs down. So I thought that I really liked that. Casey, any thoughts on the GHC Heavyweight Championship match or the OVE as they were kind of making their way to the ring backstage segment?
Yeah, I like the match. With GFW not kind of being a part of Impact anymore, I was thinking if GFW was still a part of Impact right now, they'd probably be trying to consider this title one of their own, considering it's the Global Honored Championship. That's what GHC stands for. Global, get it? Yeah. But definitely a good match. I didn't have anything against the match. The only thing I didn't like, and it's just a little thing, is I didn't like that there wasn't a Pro Wrestling Noah referee. It was just the new Canadian Impact referee. That was just weird to me. I would think obviously the president or whatever of Pro Wrestling Noah was there, but I would think for them to be having their title defended in Impact, they would have one of their referees come and officiate the match. That's the only thing that was kind of off to me about it. But definitely a good match. I liked it. I didn't expect the title to change hands really. But like you said, it could have gone either way. Definitely a good match. And I definitely like the new OVE segment. I'm curious to see kind of where they're going with this. But
speaking of OVE, they had a match against 3 jobbers. I'm gonna call them. I know one of them was Phil Atlas. I don't know the rest of them. I just happen to hear his name. But OVE basically dominated this match. They looked good in this match too. I think Sami Callihan looked good. I'm glad that he kind of got most of the time in this match. It felt like, even whether it was just him one-on-one or him helping with tag team moves, or even that the move they did at the end of the match, the kind of three-way move they did at the end of the match to end this match. I just think they looked really good. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. After the match, LAX comes out to kind of get some revenge, but OVE kind of uses their numbers game to their advantage. But eventually, LAX would, kind of go back to having the advantage with the numbers game, and basically send OVE retreating. I didn't really like OVE retreating. I think I would have rather OVE kind of stayed in there, or maybe this brawl end, through commercial or something. Just because I think, I don't know, it felt weird that it kind of felt like OVE was running. They've never seemed to be the type of group that would run anyway. So I just kind of felt off to me. But Casey, any thoughts on OVE versus Phil Atlas and the boys, and the after the match segment?
Oh, them poor fellas, they just got beat down. Yeah, I definitely, it was a good match to kind of show, if you haven't seen Sami Callihan before, kind of get you an idea of, what he's all about. I also really like that commentary really talked him up, like saying, if you haven't seen him before, you're in for a treat, blah, blah, blah. Everywhere he's gone, he's, dominated. I feel like, wrestling promotions just don't do that enough anymore for new signees to, a company or whatever. They don't talk them up from their previous, experience. So you don't get excited about them. And I feel like they need to do that more, especially for Rabbit, so he doesn't have to ask us, what's he about? What do you do? Is he a brawler? Is he a high fly? But I definitely like that. I liked LAX coming out. I feel like, with what happened at friggin' what is it? Bound for Glory. I couldn't think of the name.
For Glory Bound.
Yeah, for Glory Bound, that one. Yeah. It was a good kind of, they got revenge, kind of keeping that feud going. I do kind of wish, or I think that OVE should have stayed in there and just got beat down by LAX. Kind of, okay, you got one up on us, now we have one up on you, and kind of keep that feud going. I don't necessarily like that they retreated, like you said. But, at least they're keeping this storyline going.
Definitely agree. Then we had Hakeem Zayn, brother of Sami Zayn. Backstage, the winner of Global Force, he was getting interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell. They did a really good job with this, by the way, because I was not expecting Johnny Impact to physically move him out of the way and grab the camera and talk to Alberto El Patron. So they did a really good job with this. But I feel like, kind of on the contrary of what was the real focus of this, which was Johnny Impact. I feel like this Global Force thing just kind of stopped, right? Like they had finalists, and then somebody just kind of won. like I remember, and it felt like this the whole time. Like it felt like at first it was like 20 hopefuls hope to be the next Impact Wrestling star, and then like the next week they were like, okay, we got our 3 finalists, and then the next week Hakeem Zayn was like the winner, and I'm like, what? like why did he win? Like, because he got it factor? Like, I think that's all they said. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I like him. I do. I think he has like a really cool presence about him so far, which I think he kind of smiled too much in his promo, to be honest, considering he just would not even crack any sort of reaction at Bound for Glory. But I'm curious though. Like, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with him. The Johnny Impact thing, he can't just be moving the man out the way. He just won Global Force, dang it. Casey, any thoughts on Johnny Impact and Global Forge? Yeah.
Ima- Imagine if they did that at like American Idol. And your final 16 next week. And the winner. Wait, what? What, what happened to the other 15? What? Yeah. um, but I, I definitely, I liked this new guy from what I've seen so far. Um, I did like, them showing him at Bound for Glory and him kind of, you know, I like how he acted in that, that kind of cocky, I'm too good for this, I'm the greatest. You kind of got that from him, not for just from him being in the crowd there. I like that. Um, as far as Johnny Impact just, shoving him out the way and basically killing him is what I'm guessing because he didn't even come back. Like,
He Dan Mathed him.
it's like he been dead. Like, then he was like, Alberto. um, that's what confused me. I was like, yo, did he shove him that hard that he just dead? Like he ain't try to fight back? Like, bruh. Like, that poor man. That poor man. He just trying to make a name for himself.
um, Next we had Ali versus some girl named Spinelli. Casey Spinelli. So Chase Spinelli. Um, I, I like this match. It was in Border City Wrestling, which was kind of interesting, kind of weird at the same time. They were in Canada and also in Canada. Um, but I liked Ali in this match. I think, like we've said, I think Ali's doing a good job with this character. Like she's almost too good at this character. But she's doing a good job of not showing too much yet. I still feel like, uh, but at the same time, like she's being consistent. I feel like she's being consistent. There's great continuity with this particular character that she's doing with her getting frustrated and showing the frustration, her getting happy and showing the happiness. Like she's very emotional uh, with this character. I feel like Spinelli pretty much dominated this match. Um, but Ali would end up winning, kind of coming back at the end, little overconfidence, kind of overzealousness from Spinelli. So Ali would end up getting the win. I'm gonna talk about this as well. Well, the one thing about this match though too, like it did feel like Spinelli was kicking out of everything, like at times, like there were those. I feel like in wrestling sometimes you have those typical times where you think somebody's gonna win. Well, Spinelli like kicked out of all of those, and I was like, "You supposed to stay down. Stop it. You supposed to stay down." Um, but I know after this match, Ali like talked about how Gail Kim might retire because she got a big announcement next week, and I was like, "But how you know though? You in Canada?" Well, technically, everybody in Canada. But anyway, like I was just like, "How you know though? Like you in the BC Dubs? How you supposed to know she got an announcement? You ain't even in the same arena she is." I'm just saying. But Casey, any thoughts on Ali versus Spinelli?
Uh, I like that it was in Border City Wrestling. I like that they still do these other promotions. It kind of it breaks up the kind of monotony of a show. I feel like kind of going to a different arena, going to a different promotion. I like that. Um, can we start now? The BC Dub. Can we start that? Um, Definitely a good match. I like that it, and I don't feel like it was too one sided. I feel like it was just a good match. It showed, um, it really showed Casey Spinelli if you haven't seen her before much. And I like that they also talked about how, it wasn't just about Ali in this match. They were talking also about how, you know, Casey Spinelli's trying to impress Impact to hopefully get a contract, with Impact. I like that, and I hope she does. But definitely a good match. I felt so bad for Ali after the match because she like, Miss Gail, she has an announcement, and I hope she's not retiring. I'm like, oh man, no, nobody told her. Oh man.
Nobody, nobody let her know.
oh man, this ain't gonna be good.
Like I thought they were friends. Moving on. We had Alberto El Patron. I think he was reading a book or something. Like was the man reading a book? Was he out here reading books out here? Looking through a magazine one, and Mackenzie Mitchell comes up to ask a word about Johnny Impact. In comes Johnny Impact, and Johnny Impact attacks this man. Just like this man looked like low key out there. This man looked like he was like low key. He came out of nowhere. Sorry, low the beast key, I should say. But man, they was going at it early in this brawl. And bruh, tell me how the flow was so slick. Like they was sliding everywhere. They was like Impact was trying to get up. He tried to run after El Patron at one point and just slipped and fell. I was just cracking up because the flow was just so doggone slick. I like this. Like Casey hated it. I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked when they flipped over the table. They, because New Day was under there, so they had to flip it over, make sure they got out. And friggin' Braxton Sutter just came out of nowhere getting beat up. I love how I thought it was funny how Johnny Impact attacked Braxton Sutter. I thought it was with the foreign objects, but he attacked him, and it was kind of a brutal attack. Braxton Sutter gets right back up like nothing just happened. I thought he was gonna lay there for a minute. Nope, gets right back up immediately. I was like, what? What are you doing? No, you're supposed to lay there for a minute. Caleb Conley was here at one point. Like, I was like, okay then. Friggin' El Patron still hitting people in the head with foreign objects, like the trash can. They went outside and Johnny Mundo forgot how to punch. He did. He forgot how to punch because he was struggling. The man, he was struggling, that poor man. And then they went back into the building. I really like the part where freaking Alberto El Patron climbs up the ladder to get on top of the, I don't know what that thing was. It looked like a trailer. I'm calling it. He got on top of the trailer. And Johnny, he kicks the ladder down on Johnny Impact, and Johnny Impact just climbs on a soda machine and gets. I was like, "How you do that though? Like if I tried that, it'd just tip over and I'd be dead. So how you do that? So I really like that. Security tried to break it up multiple times, but it just won't happen. It just won't happen. And Johnny Impact took security out with a dive, just on top of them. He didn't care. He had no chills. Hero. As they come back from commercial, the brawl kind of goes into the Impact Zone a little bit more, back near the ring, and freaking El Patron grabs a microphone because he's like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this brawl. I'm not doing this no more. I'm not doing this no more. But El Patron grabs the microphone and he calls out Johnny Impact and calls out the company once again, kind of like he did at Bound for Glory. And then Johnny Impact comes with the burn of the night. Casey, what was the burn? Let him know.
I like this one. This is my favorite. Okay, the burn of the night. Alberto, you say you're the pride of Mexico. You're not even the pride of your own father. I was like, oh.
And Alberto wasn't playing that. Alberto came back in. He came back in to finish the brawl. He came back in to finish the brawl. He beat up security. He tried to tear the man's arm off. Like that poor fella. He tried to tear that man's arm off. He didn't care. And basically he left Johnny Impact laying in the ring. And this kind of saga continues with, El Patron basically just calling out the company, calling out everybody at this point. But I liked it. Casey hated it. Casey, thoughts? You hated it. I liked it.
First of all, after that burn, I was like, nah, bro, you don't continue fighting after that burn. You go back to your locker room and you sit in your shame. because bro, he burned. Ooh. Um, but yeah, I I just didn't like this brawl just because it felt sloppy to me, and more so Alberto. It felt like he felt sloppy in this. Like his punches, his kick just didn't feel. It just everything just felt sloppy, and part of it was because the floor was kind of slippery and they were slipping. But he just his punches didn't look good. You know, it just looks bad to me. I did like Alberto climbing the ladder to the top of the. They called it a bathroom building because that's where the bathroom was, and I was like, oh, okay. So they got a building inside of a building for the bat. Okay, okay. Um, I just didn't like the incredibly obviously placed ladder there for no reason. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, so they go climb up that. Uh, uh, I love Johnny jumping from the soda machine to the top of the building to the top of the little bathroom building. And I'm like, okay, okay, you thought he wasn't gonna get up there. Like, did you do research on this man? Did you not know he could parkour? Did you not know he could get up there?
Parkour. Every time I hear the words parkour now, I think about The Office.
Um, and then during the brawl, when with Braxton Sutter coming out and kind of inadvertently getting attacked at first, and then kind of joining the brawl, it made sense with the circumstances with him just kind of coming out to see what the ruckus was about and kind of just getting involved inadvertently. Because him initially being attacked wasn't like it was kind of in the rage there that Johnny didn't realize who it was and just kind of went at him. but then Caleb Conley coming in for no reason. I'm like, bruh, why you just jumping in on a brawl? Like, ain't no reason for this. Like, why? And then he just disappears, and I'm like, but wait, what? Wait, what? I, okay.
Where the cult of Lee at? Hashtag We Are Trevor. Like, what
It didn't make any sense. I'm like, okay. Explain, please. But yeah, it was okay. I just like I said, some of it felt really sloppy to me. I don't know.
All right. Well, that was your Impact Wrestling review for the Fallout. Well, if we call it the show before the Go Home show, can we call it the show after the Fallout show? That thing we can do. I'm gonna get this trending. People will be like, you know what? That's a good idea. The Fallout show for
Well, I
Bound for
mean,
Glory.
if the show before the pay per view is the Go Home show, wouldn't this be the Leave Home show?
True, true. So they leave it home. They go
Yeah.
into Canada. Anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed. This was the Impact Wrestling review for the Fallout Leave Home show for Bound for Glory, which I think we both thoroughly enjoyed. But anyway, we will see you guys next time. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, ICW_podcast. Look in the left corner. Click what? Don't click on it because it ain't gonna take you nowhere. Don't do it. Don't click on it. But like you can click on it and highlight. I don't think you can do that in the video. It's in the description. It's in the description. Go click on the link in the description for the Twitter, ICW_podcast. Also, find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ICW podcast as well. So we on the Facebooks as well. We actually live at this particular moment. Depending on when you watch the video, we might not be still. Well, we still live. We live 24/7. But we hope you guys enjoyed. This was your Impact Wrestling review for 11/9/2017. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.